Hello everyone, my name's Chant and welcome back to Planet Coaster. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at a project I call Blackwood Forest. Now, the end product is called Blackwood Castle, but it all began with this idea I had of a Blackwood Forest, which hopefully kind of sounds like Sherwood Forest. My inspiration was the idea of Robin Hood, only on a slightly darker scale. I wanted this kind of eerie look without being spooky or haunted. I didn't want to throw any spiders in there or anything, but I did want it to look dark and foreboding, if you will. The idea behind this theme or storyline would be that every creation I made that was part of this collection, this Blackwood Forest collection, would be made out of the tree trunks or bark of the blackwood trees in the forest. And that's what you see here, where I'm starting with the base of a tree. Now, I'm not sure if it comes across as much as I wanted that this was a tree stump, but I think it adds a good amount of texture and character to the entire build. So, despite it not maybe coming across as I wanted, I am still pleased with it. Now, I don't have a story to go with my Blackwood theme, but I do believe that it could be made into a nice little series of prop items that could be placed in a park. That's just an atmospheric theme that I've come up with. You'll see that I'm using a lot of the temple pieces from the Adventure DLC. I use these pieces in a lot of my builds. Debatably, all of my builds, they are not on a grid, which is a huge plus. It means you can custom build anything you want with them. They are perfect for these little castles I'm doing, and that's a little bit of a spoiler right there. I have been doing a few castles lately, and you will probably see them in a couple videos. Sorry about that. But as you see, I'm using those temple pieces and making a custom roof right there with the same driftwood I used on the bottom part of this castle, which is the tree stump, or supposed to be representative of one if it doesn't exactly look like one. At the beginning of this video, you'll see that I placed 2 or 3 creations that I have previously done. The giant tree, the little log cabin, or little log house, I should say. And then I ended up placing those 3 little huts because I did the custom roofs on those and I wanted them all for reference. The first 2 because I did use the same driftwood for bark on both of those, and I don't know if driftwood is the best item in the game to replicate the bark of a tree, but it's one that I've consistently used, and I find that they are pretty easy to work with. I think another one that people use are the roots, or especially the roots that came with the adventure pack to create a tree or tree stump. Like I said, I've used this one before and will probably continue to use it as just something that is my style and something consistent with what I've done. You'll see that I stole the door frame from Robin's Rabbit Hole, a creation I made a month or 2 ago. I felt like there was no sense in recreating something that I've already built. I have no problem going back to my old builds and taking bits from this or that to create something new. The intention behind the Blackwood Forest theme was that I would create several of these kind of pieces, not necessarily all castles, but definitely something, black with the wood texture. I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Here you see me make a little drawbridge for the castle. The intention was always to have a little moat, and I wanted to use the river rapids ride, or the log ride, but the track won't go any smaller. I cannot make a smaller circle with this track, so I had to nix that idea with the water flowing, which I used in a different project that you have not seen yet. So, mum's the word. I ended up using the fountain water, which is better than nothing. It's too still for my liking. I do like all of my builds to move in some sort of way, just visual interest. But I do believe that the fountain is better than nothing at all. Next, I'm going to raise up the castle, give it a little bit of elevation because it is a tiny prop. And I'm going to do this by having this kind of rock bottom, you know, sitting on top of a mountain type of deal. Now, mixing rocks is important, but in this case, I kind of kept them separate, this lighter rock on top and a darker rock on the bottom, because those were actually my two colors, the dark rock and the light rock, which is tan and black. Tan comes in at the top of the tree stump where the wood shows. It also comes in at the front door and is used as an accent color throughout the whole castle. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not very experienced at placing rocks, but it is a commonplace thing to do in Planet Coaster. One of the best things to do is continue rotating the rock so that it doesn't look like you're putting the same rock down over and over again. Get different angles of it showing so it looks interesting. Hopefully you didn't miss that, but I did add some of those new colored panels, the ones that light up at night, into the water, which during the day doesn't have too much of an effect, but at night it will really help it come alive. To help sell the idea that this is a forest item, I do put in some pine trees. And later on I'll remove a couple of them at the top, but I'll add some at the base here as well. The steps I put out in front of the drawbridge are more for a realistic effect. If this is a prop item in a park, you know, workers can use those steps to get up into that area to work on the prop, or kids can climb those stairs and go to the little door for a picture spot. I don't know, I thought it was a reasonable addition. Now, as it falls to night here, you'll notice that it's already lit up and you didn't see me add any lights. Well, that's because I took it out of this speed build. I took a while trying to figure out how I wanted to light it. I decided upon these two colors, the purple and the green. The green to reflect the pine tree that I used, which is a blue-green. And the purple because I find purple, especially this color, to be a dark, mysterious, and elegant color, and I thought it blended perfectly with the blue-green that I used. I don't know if it's going to be in any of these clips, but later on I do add embers of the same colors, the purple and the blue and green. Making a custom roof, depending on the day, is easy or hard. Today it was easy, as I didn't have to layer it with tiles. I just used single plank for a row there. And I like how the roof turned out. It was a little flat since they were all one shade of black, so I did lighten a couple up to give it a little variety and dimension. Now, the windows were an important factor in this very small building. I had to use the smallest windows that would appropriately fit the theme. I had to place them strategically as well to show that there were several different stories in this castle, even though it's really tiny. I play around a bit with ivy for the front of this building. It was looking a little plain and I just didn't want to put a window front and center. The ivy, I was a little turned off by the color green that was clashing with the pine trees I'd put in. So I took out the ivy and I put in a sign. I don't know if I'm completely happy with the sign, but the sign ended up staying. And it's reminiscent of the little log house in the background, one of the first items I placed. It also has this cute little sign dangling above the door. Again, I have no problem reusing things that I've done in the past, like this driftwood to recreate a tree, or the circular door frame that I built in another project. This sign too reflects something I've already done, and it's sort of a brand, if you will, a consistency with everything that I built. And I think that's okay. I think it's actually a good thing to continuously represent yourself in your builds. Well, that wraps up this project. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, even though my idea may not come across as strongly as I wanted. I am very pleased with the outcome. I think that it's a great prop piece for any forest. It doesn't have to be Blackwood Forest. I hope you liked this video and the end product, which should be on Steam by now if you're interested in it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.